Hello everyone, hope doing fit and fine. So today we will do the short summary analysis of the poem Piano, which is written by T.H. Lawrence. Now the poet through the title Piano over here tries to highlight the power of the music and how it can bring back memories to him of his childhood days. Let's see the first stanza. Softly in the dusk, a woman is singing to me, taking me back down the vista of years, till I see a child sitting under the piano in the boom of tingling strings and pressing the small, poised feet of a mother who smiles and sings. Over here, the word dusk means the time when the sun is about to set. Vista means the series of events which has taken place in the past. Boom means the echoing sound. Over here with the word boom he wants to say about the echoing sound produced by the music of the piano, by the tingling strings, that is the strings which produces the music. And poised means graceful, which he uses for his mother. So the poet is telling that during the dusk time, during the evening time when the sun is about to set, a lady who is singing a song, who is playing the music, when he listens to them, what happens to him? He remembers about it, about his childhood memories. So what he sees about his childhood memories in the first stanza is that he sees a small child who is sitting beside a piano and a lady, a woman is playing the piano. So who is that lady over here? She is his mother. So he actually tells about his own memories which he is trying to display through a small child who is sitting beside a woman, and that woman is the poet's mother and she is playing the piano. She is very graceful lady and she is smiling also while playing the music on the piano. So he's describing his mother as a very graceful lady, as he's using the words like poised, smiles and sings. Now let's move to second stanza. In spite of myself, the insidious mastery of song betrays me back till the heart of me weeps to belong to the old Sunday evenings at home with winter outside and hymns in the cozy parlor, the tinkling piano a guide. So insidious means dangerous or sneaky. Betrays means something which cheats you. Okay. And over here then hymns means the religious song. So he's telling that in spite of myself, the insidious mastery of song betrays me back till the heart of me weeps to belong. So he's telling that now he has learnt music and he has the mastery over song, but still it takes him back, it makes him travel to his childhood days, even though he doesn't want to travel to those days. It is not easy for him to remember those days because it brings pain to him. It makes his heart sad. Why he is now sad? Because whenever he remembers about his childhood days, he also remembers about his mother. Now he becomes sad because he remembers about his mother and other family members who are no more with him. So he starts to weep. His heart begins to weep. Now, what are the other things which he remembers about his childhood memories? To the old Sunday evenings at home with winter outside and hymns in the cozy parlor, the tinkling piano a guide. So he's telling that on Sunday evenings during the winter days, he used to sit with other family members in the cozy parlor, which means comfortable parlor. And what he used to do over there, he used to sing the hymns together on the tunes of the piano. So over here the religious aspect of the poet's family is also shown, as they used to sing the hymns together. So all these things makes him remind of his mother and other family members, and he becomes sad and he weeps like a small child. Now let's see the third stanza. So now it is vain for the singer to burst into clamor with the great black piano appassionato. The glamour of childish days is upon me, my manhood is cast. Down in the flood of remembrance, I weep like child for a past. So over here, the word vain means useless, which produces no result. Clamor means loud noise. Appassionato means with great passion, with great intensity. Now, the poet tells that so now it is vain for the singer to burst into clamor. So he's telling it is useless for him now to sing even as loud he can, very loudly, because even if he sings loudly or plays music on the great black piano, so in present he is having a great black piano, and he's telling even if he plays the music on that great black piano very passionately, it is of no use because it cannot bring him back his past childhood days. The clamor of childish days is upon me, my manhood is cast. So now what is there? Only the memories of his childhood days are there. But now he is a grown up man. So he cannot bring back those childhood days, only he can remember about those days. Now, down in the flood of remembrance, I weep like a child for past. So, he's telling flood of remembrance because now, flood, what happens in flood? The water comes in abundance and all of sudden. So, similarly, his memories come in sudden, and he has got no control over it, and it comes in huge amount. He has got very different types of memories related to his childhood days, and whenever he starts to get reminded about those days, he starts to weep like a small child. So whenever he thinks about his past days, he weeps like a child. So let's move over to the rhyming scheme of the poem. Now, the rhyming scheme, the first line, it ends with the word me, and the second line ends with the word see. So we see over here that me and see have got similar sound while we pronounce it. Then third line ends with the word strings, and the fourth line ends with the word sings. So they have got the similar sound. So we mark the first two lines because the rhyming words are me and see, which have got similar sound. We mark them as small a, and the word string and sing differs in the sound with me and see. So we mark the third and fourth line as B. So the rhyming scheme of first stanza is A, B. So when we move to the second stanza, the first line ends with the word song and the second line ends with the word belong. So we mark them as small a again. And the third line ends with the word outside and the fourth line ends with the word guide. So we mark them as small b. So we find that the rhyming scheme of the second stanza is also A, B. Now the third stanza, the first line ends with the word clamor and the second line ends with the word glamour. So we mark them as small a. The third line ends with the word cast and the last line ends with the word past. So they are different from glamour and clamor. So we cannot mark them as small a. So we will mark them as small b. So the rhyming scheme of the third stanza is also A, B. So this pattern of A, B is followed in the entire poem. So we mark them as A, B. So the rhyming scheme of the whole poem is A, B. Now we also see the contrast feeling of the poet in the entire poem. When we begin with the first stanza, the poet is happy. He rejoices whenever he thinks about his childhood memories. So we gradually move to the last stanza. What we find that he is sad and he cries like a child while he remembers about his childhood days. So the contrast of feeling is also shown in the poem. Hope this poem explanation was helpful to you people. We'll come up with the further videos. Thank you.